Hey everyone, this is Larry Everett with Hyperspace Beacon. Thanks for joining me. This is our very first show, our first episode of the Sci-Fi MMO show, and today we talk about the open beta for Wildstar and also the awesome new raid video that they have out. We also talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic and their plans for this summer, and of course, we want to introduce you to this show and what this show is all about. But first, let me introduce to you my co-host and friend and guildmate, Laura Williams. Say hello to the
Hello! How's everybody?
And
you can hear my cat crying in the background here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hey, Patty.
Oh, wow. Popping a little bit. All right, cool. So this is the Sci-Fi MMO show. And so what is this all about? What are we doing here? Let me get into that a little bit first. I'm going to move the chat room around a little bit here. Get settled. All right. Sci-fi MMOs, they are a rarity, really. I mean, sci-fi games in general. I don't know that we can
say that so much anymore.
Well, they're getting to not be a rarity, and I want to do a show dedicated just to sci-fi MMOs because I want to see more of them. I want to see more sci-fi kind of stuff happening. I'm a little worn out with high fantasy. High fantasy has had its place. Let's do some more sci-fi, right? And Laura and I will be here every week doing this, but we also have different guests coming on that will focus on specific MMOs. And I guess we should define what actually makes a sci-fi MMO. What do we define here on this show as a sci-fi MMO? Well, for me, it's basically anything but fantasy. So I'll include things like maybe zombie games if they're post-apocalyptic like that would definitely fit into the genre. Specifically the ones coming out soon, we're looking at Wildstar. Definitely that's going to be a big hit for us here, and we'll look at like Star Citizen, but some of the games that are already existing that we'll bring that we'll talk about, like Eve, and we'll talk about Star Trek Online. And but I think the biggest and coolest thing that we're going to have is we'll have guests on periodically that specifically related to these games. Like we have for Star Trek Online, I have Terry Scholl, who used to work for Massively, who does an amazing podcast for Star Trek Online, and she's like a huge Trekkie. Gonna have her on. Richie Procopio,
Yay!
if you know who if you know who he is, Richie Procopio is going to be on the show as well. He does Wildstar show, and of course Laura's on here for Scarlet Blade.
Yeah, I am all about the Scarlet Blade. I'm gonna make Larry play it again with me.
And I also have a developer who has agreed to show up on the show and answer some questions about some of the things that it takes to make MMOs. So, and in fact, he's agreed to be on next week. It'll be fun. Anyway, that is it. That is what our show is about. We will do this every week. We're going to do this this is kind of our trial period, if you will. We're going to try this out for 12 episodes. Then we might take a little break and decide exactly how we're going to do things, how we're going to make things flow, and if there's any improvements we want to make, if there's any kind of new guests and those kinds of things, maybe new host, maybe I'll be, maybe you guys don't like me, and because it's very possible.
It's not possible at all.
And so, yeah, and we'll do that for about 12 episodes and see how that goes. And that'll be like our trial period. All right, developer Paul Sage. No, it's not going to be Paul Sage, Krabsy says in the chat room. No, definitely not Paul Sage. So the first lead story here is Wildstar.
Yeah, Wildstar!
That's right. Wildstar had its open beta officially. It opened on Thursday. Our guild will be playing Wildstar. Yes. In fact, we nailed down the name today, I think.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed that actually went through. Yeah. We're relying on Jimmy, so...
Yeah, and that's why our fingers are crossed, is because we were relying on Jimmy. If it was anybody else, we'd be like, yeah, it's fine. But no, we are going to do some of the cool things, like we're focusing on PvE and 40-man raids, which...
PvP! Oh my god, war plots! Who's not excited for that shit?
Yes, that sounds... I'm not excited for war plots, but I'll join in because... come
on, Larry. It's going to be so much fun. Big, huge things. You get to build them. Neat buffs that come from it. We can steal raid bosses and stick them on our war plots and then attack other people.
That I'm kind of looking forward to. That
is the most awesome idea ever.
Yeah. And, speaking of raid bosses, I'm going to go ahead and show this, because this was...
This was an awesome video that came out today.
Yeah, this was an absolutely amazing video that Carbine put out today. This is their...
Welcome to Wildstar.
Welcome to Wildstar. There we go.
This disclaimer is hardcore.
The disclaimer is even hardcore. That is how hardcore
their disclaimer is hardcore.
Their trailer. This is how hardcore the raids are going to be in Wildstar, is that even the disclaimer is hardcore. Raids.
Yeah.
So, what are they showing us here?
It looks like rock monsters.
It's...
And look at those sweet buildings. And look at all that damage going around.
I think this... I mean, that shot right there. This shot right here. I don't... Well, does it show it in this one? No, it doesn't. It comes later.
I don't think it's that one.
Where the things fall through. Oh, it's...
Yeah. Look at stuff. Look at there. You're falling through the world.
There you go.
That's awesome.
These...
And look that you got to avoid all that shit.
This is... That's some of the coolest things, because there's telegraphs within Wildstar, with any kind of boss, with any kind of player, and then your raid bosses are doing the exact same thing. They're throwing out telegraphs, and you're going to have to avoid those telegraphs.
Can we pause it? Maybe can you go back a couple of frames?
Where do you want to go?
Like, go back just a couple of frames as they're kind of zooming down there on that dude, and you can see all the swirls on the ground.
Yeah.
Look at that. That is basically a labyrinth maze that you're going to have to be running around to stay out of. How cool is that?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is, I'm looking forward to that a lot. I think that's some of the coolest things about.
I mean, now we're personally going to have a problem with that because movement is difficult for our guild, but still, as a concept, that just looks fun to me.
I wonder, I wonder how many guilds are actually going to have issues
with that. And look
because
at how great and large these environments are.
7 bosses, 16 mini bosses.
7 bosses, 16 mini bosses. Yeah, we're. I think Krabsy is right. We're gonna. Our raid is probably going to want to kill each other by the end of the summer, but we will have fun doing it the whole time. It'll be wonderful. But I'm really excited about these. I mean, I'll admit I am not excited about leveling up in Wildstar. I'm not looking forward to it at all. It seems to me to be very much grindy because. Honestly, I was spoiled with Tor. I was spoiled with ESO. I want voiceover and those kinds of things, and I kind of lose that whenever I go to Wildstar. When
you have to stop and read a quest.
Yeah, and I'm just not. Maybe I don't know.
Wait! You got to pause it here.
Oh wait.
That's me right there. I am that dude that's AFK during trash, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, we ask that question all the time during raid. What are you doing, Laura? Laura, and then you also, I mean, polling whenever we shouldn't be. Yeah. Exactly. We don't read text. I can neither
confirm nor deny that has ever happened in a raid.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we made sure that teamwork. But I do think that it's really cool that because it's going to it's going to vary some. I mean,
platforms are going to disappear. All this awesome training that we're getting in Star Wars from Tyrants on missing platforms that go away when stuff drops on them.
Light on fire.
Yeah.
Explode.
Fire.
That's amazing.
Look at that. Screw up and everyone dies.
The only thing is, I mean, 40 people. 40 people. Are we going to be able to do that? I mean, is it going to? I don't mean are we going to be able to get 40 people together, because I think we can. I think that's quite possible. But the real question is, are we going to be able to coordinate 40 people? It's got to be worse than herding cats.
It can't be any worse than hurting the people that we have in our raid now.
Yeah, but imagine.
I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be epic. The best raiding that I ever had and the most fun I ever had in raiding was definitely Vanilla WoW when it was 40 people. I mean, the feeling of needing everybody to take down a huge internet dragon was cool.
And hit us up on social media.
Yeah.
And this is going to be just as epic to get in there with 40 people and killing that stuff, especially when, they flat out said, you're not going to be able to just go and have somebody write up a strategy guide on the forums or, for people to read and copy and say, okay, the boss is going to do this at this time and this at this time. It's going to be different. It's going to be unpredictable. They've said raids are going to be different every time you go in. Like, you won't always be able to access the same wing. Or sometimes there's going to be scenarios where you have one group that's fighting the main boss, but then another group has to break off and they have to go tackle another objective so that you can advance to the next part. I mean, it's just, I think it's going to be epic on so many levels, and it's going to bring a new layer of complexity and fun and challenge, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. Do
you think these are okay? How complex do you think they're going to get? Do you think we're going to run it?
Just looking at that preview video, I don't see anything in there that is your standard tank and spank. I mean, there is going to be movement. There is going to be puzzles. I mean, they said there's even going to be rooms where it's going to be a puzzle to get through the entire room. I think that they are definitely moving away from starting off with anything that's just a very simple run in there and beat the boss down.
So, let's talk about in the environments that I think that was one of the key things that I think is interesting about the raids in general in Wildstar is that it's not on top of the boss, I guess, puzzles is kind of what I would call it. Where it's really, you're really trying to figure out the puzzle with the boss, but you're also going to have to figure out the puzzle with the rooms themselves. I mean, you saw some of those rooms where there was like swirling
laser beams. I mean, it's all. I'm thinking we're gonna have a very Mission Impossible type thing, and there was one where it looked like there were barriers almost, like 3. Yeah. And they were spinning around and interlocking, and you saw one dude get cut off in a couple of the barriers. So that's also something where you're going to have people trying to group up and work around and piece your way through. And hopefully we don't get things like data cores that keep spawning ads over and over and over and over.
How much do you think this is going to alienate some guilds? Because this is, I mean, it's a lot of movement. Do you think it's going to be an issue, or do you think the Carbine's going to, tone it down a little bit in order to accommodate more people? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that they've been very honest about saying that they are looking to cater to kind of a niche crowd, and that's the people that want to hardcore raid. I mean, I remember one of the first things that I heard about this game that kind of intrigued me was they said, we don't care if only 1% of the population ever sees our raid content. Like, we are okay with that. We're not going to dumb it down. Now, that's not to say that they won't get in there and people will complain and be like, this is just way too challenging. And, obviously if something is broken, then that should be fixed. But,
right.
Yeah, no, I think that they have designed it to be very hardcore. I think that I don't know. I don't want to say hardcore. Maybe that's the wrong word. They've designed it to be very challenging.
I think they used the word hardcore a couple times in that video. Just saying.
Yeah, they did, but hardcore can always be open to people's interpretation. So that's not the word I want to go with. I want to go with challenging. They've purposely designed it to be very challenging. And I think that's fantastic. I think that that's something that we haven't seen in a really, really long time. in raiding, and the fact that it's not going to be accessible to everybody. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, I agree, and but I absolutely agree with that. I think that that's a cool thing because if you want to raid, you want to do really challenging stuff. You're not in for the. I don't think most raiders.
I think if you want to raid, you're going to have to step up your game.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, honestly, I don't think you're in. I don't think you're into raid just to sit back and relax. I mean, you're kind of. This is what's fun for you to figure out how to work together as a team and defeat these bosses. That's what raiding's about. It's not about sitting back it's honestly. I don't think it's even as much about reading somebody's. Write up on
reading somebody else's work.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying everyone needs to jump on Test Center and get in there and be testing it 12 hours a day for 6 months before it gets released on live and then have that push, because that was something else that I liked that they said. They were like, it's going to be hard to define world firsts because every time you go in there, there's going to be something different.
Yeah.
What is your week first that you got it this time, but then somebody else gets a first, after the weekly reset, somebody else gets it. So
absolutely.
I think it's a great idea. I really, really love the competitiveness and the spirit of challenge that they are throwing in there.
There was one other video that I want to show here that Carbine put out last week. That was about their lore. It was their open beta video, and I'm gonna just briefly show it here because obviously we can't play the whole thing. Copyright infringement kind of things.
I don't believe it. Planet Nexus now lies before us.
What are your thoughts?
What were they doing? Obviously, they were uncovering bad shit. Because
obviously
these things, that's how it always starts. They went down there and they found some shit, or they created some shit, and bad things happened, and then they disappeared.
Yep.
It never ends well.
All right. The question is, does this... this is the first trailer for me that I saw that kind of sort of took itself seriously. That was one of the things that I have a real problem with. Is I'm a lore person. I love lore in games and trying to absorb all of that stuff. And I have had trouble in the past with videos with Wildstar not taking themselves seriously. Usually they'll, it's really goofy and funny.
Look at that thing. Look at those things. That's what they dug up. Monsters.
Yeah. I think this is the first time that they've really taken themselves seriously, and I'm kind of for the first time this is the first time I've ever been excited about the lore in the game. I don't know.
See, what really drew me to Wildstar was I loved that it didn't take itself seriously. I loved the hysterical dev speaks. I loved the jokes. I loved the humor. I haven't laughed so much playing a game in forever.
I do enjoy it. Like I said, I don't read the quest text and things along that line, so it doesn't really speak to me. If something funny happens, like within the context of the action, it's just.
They have chat bubbles, and one of my favorite things from when they redid the first starting zone, and they put in a little. I want to say tutorial area that you run through that kind of teaches you movement, and you get your first couple of powers, and it's sort of, kind of walking you through holding your hand. You get to this one section right before you go down, at least inside, to the museum, and they have removed it, but they used to have a dude that was proposing to a girl. And he gets down on his knee and he, pulls out a little box, and she kind of sits there and looks at it and then proceeds to laugh at him. And she's like, "Are you kidding me? No. Like, not even. You are not even in my league." And the guy then gets super pissed off and he's like, "Oh, fuck you," and slaps her. And then she turns around. She's like, "Oh, no, you didn't," and proceeds to beat the shit out of him. It was the funniest encounter to watch something like that happening. Now, they did take it out, but that was
that's
that
disappointing.
Was the moment right there that I said, I want to play this game because that is hysterical.
That's disappointing. I was hoping that they'd leave something. I am cool with little things like that are within the game. I think that those are cool. I do have issue whenever the lore itself doesn't take anything seriously, which it kind of didn't. And until this last video, and this last video kind of it spoke to me a little bit more than the past ones. So I appreciate that. So name reservations. Did you get?
Oh.
Do we even want to go there? Because that was.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not sure if they just weren't prepared for the amount of traffic that was going to be coming on their site, but this was a giant clusterfuck.
Yeah.
I mean, just ridiculous. Not being able to log in, the page not loading, being kicked out, page not refreshing, actually making it to the screen, and then it just bugging out, and you didn't get it. Because I had originally thought that I had gotten in there and gotten my name and gotten our Exile guild name.
Yeah.
And then it turned out, as I refreshed the page, nope, completely all gone.
There.
And I have not been able to log back in since. So somebody's probably going to steal my name.
Probably, yeah.
Which will be sad.
Yeah, although we did get, I think we did.
If anyone's out there that wants to save a name for me, I need you to save Roly Poly. Because I am making a fat Chua.
They're I like Chua. The Chuas have some of the best animations in the game. Yeah. I think that's one of my main interests in the game overall is the Chua and the animations that they have. Just the animations in general are just wonderful, and Chua specifically. I mean, I love the way that I love their double jump. That's my favorite part of the Chua.
They're just constant little balls of spinning.
It's amazing, and then they roll around when they land, and they look like little fur balls, and it's that's like tribbles from Star Trek. I love it. I think it's amazing, and then their idea of science. What's science without body count? Those kinds of things. I love it. So I am definitely going to give it
science without body count, not true science.
That's right. So
I normally don't like Chua, or I don't like characters like Chua. I normally want to play something pretty and something cute, and really when I saw the video for the Chua, and I was like, they're these crazy psychopathic space gerbils.
Right.
I instantly said, I have to play one.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I have to play one. I don't care that they don't have females. Must play a Chua. Because you are exactly right. They are so freaking adorable.
Yeah, and
everything that they do is freaking adorable.
Actually, it's not gremlins they remind me of. Necromancer in the chat room says they remind me of gremlins, but it's more like Mogwai. Before they're gremlins.
With tails. Big fat tails that kind of swish around.
They're Mogwai.
Yes, everything I do, I'm bouncing and I'm rolling and I'm short, and when I swim, I doggy paddle.
Yeah. Oh, it's too awesome. And I hate to change its subject from Wildstar and Chua because they are completely awesome. But there was some other news last week with Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's another game that we both play quite a bit. And they had a community thread that talked about their plans for the summer. And guess what? There's more events this summer. Imagine that. It's really cool. Actually, I love that.
Well,
they
had to do something though, because with pushing back Galactic Strongholds, they had been saying 2.8 is going to be to date the biggest patch that we released. So much stuff is coming in this, and then they came out and they said, well, we feel like there's more that we want to do with Strongholds. We want to give you guys more at launch, more for your money, show you some of the things that we had planned later in the year. So we're going to move that back. And that basically left 2.8 with kind of a hole. Yeah.
So they are doing the Gree events coming back, which is good. That it's been forever since that's happened. So
I'm like 12,000 reputation away from maxing that out. So maybe I will actually finish that this time.
Yeah, I might actually have to do that again this time as well because I'm really close to it. And then also the Helix the double helix things. I need to get more of those. And then there's double XP weekend again, and I'm trying to decide what character now I need to level up, because I've gotten all my Imperial characters up, and I really don't want to do Republic again.
I think I need to do an operative, because I've got one sitting at like 32-ish, and I think it's probably time that I level that. Since I got the Marauder to like 52, and I'm probably not going to delete it at this point. It's safe from deleting. I can work on the operatives.
That's good. Now I do have a question about double XP. I mean, we have seen within the last like 2 months, 2 weekends of double XP already. Really, I mean, has it been 2 months? Something like that. Is one of the things I'm curious about is double XP losing its intrigue? I know we have, like, people will come back to the game just for double XP. Are we still going to see that, or is it just like, oh, they're doing another double XP weekend? I don't know.
I don't necessarily think that they wanted to do 2 quite so fast. Well, actually, I guess you could say it was 3. Because the one on the 4th was planned, and I think that was great that they acknowledged that it was May the 4th, the Star Wars holiday. In the past, we have seen that they tend to kind of ignore a little bit holidays in the real world, if you want to call it that. And that's fine. You know, I don't necessarily need to see like Christmas all the time, or Valentine's Day, or Mother's Day, or whatever. But I am glad that they did a double XP for May the 4th. I think that's a nice way to kind of honor it. And, you know, they gave you a mini pet.
Yep.
A couple of months before that, they had an actual double XP weekend planned. I think that was March. I don't have the dates right off the top of my head. But it was in March, and that was great. But the problem was they had a issue with flashpoints. So the new tactical flashpoint, Kuat Drive Yard, was not awarding double XP. And there were lots of complaints about that, because people had specifically planned that's one of the ways to level, is to run flashpoints over and over and over. You're with a group, usually better XP, you get drops. So I know a lot of people were excited with tactical flashpoints, because you could group up with your friends now that were maybe not all of the same level, and it would give you that bolster to put everybody together. And it's disappointing to get in there and, you know, say, well, this is what we want to do to level, and suddenly you can't, because the instance is not awarding you XP. So that was a disappointment. Regular flashpoints had an issue where sometimes people would be, certain group compositions would not award XP either for regular flashpoints. So because there was such a disappointment about that, and they said, we can't fix this bug without basically shutting down double XP. So just ride the weekend out, we'll make a weekend up to you. So we had that sort of makeup weekend thrown in there to say, you know, I'm sorry for these bugs that we couldn't fix then.
Now,
oh, that totally didn't answer your question, though.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right, so I don't think that it's taking away from the mystique, because I think a lot of people like coming back for double XP. You know, once you've done it 3 or 4 times, you're a little bit overdoing the story. As of right now, there's still no way for people to just level through class story. And believe me, BioWare, if you listen to this, please, I would pay cartel coins. I would buy cartel coins if you would just put an unlock that increases just class story XP by like 1,000-fold, so that's all I have to do, because I don't want to do the other stuff.
I wouldn't. I'm with you. I wouldn't.
So I think having them more often, I don't think it's a bad thing. In fact, I think it's a great thing. And if they want more people to come and try the game, especially people who are free to play, people who are preferred, as a way to get them back in and playing with their friends, absolutely keep doing that. I mean, I'm not saying do it every weekend, but yeah, if we had it like once a month, I wouldn't, turn my nose up at it and be like, well, fuck that, it's just another double XP weekend. I mean, if I had stuff that I want to level, and I mean, certainly there's a lot of people. We have a chick in our guild who has 25 level 50s.
Yes. How?
I mean, she loves leveling characters, and she's got multiples of the same class, and that's totally awesome. So for people like her that are like, oh, I've got all these other characters and I'm going to level them up. You know, people who want to play together, they have limited playtime. This is another way for them to play that catch-up game without just being stuck. So, I don't think it's taking away from the mystique, and I think that they should continue to have them on a more frequent basis.
Cool.
rather
Now,
than once a quarter.
There was some digging about one of the events. There is an event about the Nar Shaddaa casino.
Yes. So
yeah. And what now? If SWTOR Miner, right, who is a regular on Reddit, he just got it's SWTOR SWTOR _miner just got a Twitter account of the same name, and he dug into the slot machines and the casino event. What is that about? What did you?
So
what did
one
you
of the
find
things
out?
that they're putting in to kind of fill 2.8 is they're creating a casino event on Nar Shaddaa. It's called Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. The event is going to run from June 10th through August 19th, which August 19th is the early access for subscribers to Galactic Strongholds. Basically, you're going to get to play slot machines. Yay! People didn't have a gambling addiction. You're going to have it now. You can use in-game credits to purchase tokens for slots to use in the slots, and winners will receive certificates that can be traded for unique rewards, and they're only going to be available during this event. So SWTOR Miner, I guess, did a little bit of digging. Let me get into my notes here. Talking about some of the slot machines that you're going to encounter. One of them is the Smuggler's Luck slot machine. It's going to cost 1 Smuggler Casino chip to be able to play.
Okay.
If you hit the jackpot, you get 1 golden certificate. And they didn't say yet what the golden certificate what rewards were going to come for that. But you can get that. And that has a win chance of 0.3%. If you get a win, you'll get a Kingpin Casino chip that you can use in Kingpin slot machines. And that has a 5% win ratio. You can get a free play, which has a 5% win ratio. And I'm not sure exactly what free play is, but whatever that is, you also get a feeling lucky buff.
Okay.
That when you use that at a Kingpin casino, you get a increased chance to hit the jackpot. And then there's a 29% chance to lose and a 0.02% that your machine will explode.
Oh, cool! Your machine will explode. I'm looking forward to that.
And actually, my favorite comment was somebody said that it would be really awesome if your machine explodes and then kills the 3 closest people in immediate vicinity along with you.
That'd be sweet.
Then you have the Kingpin Bounty slot machine, and of course, like I said, that costs 1 Kingpin casino chip to play. And you have 2 jackpots. One has a 0.7% chance to win, or it's a 0.09% chance with the feeling lucky buff. And the reward for that is a sweet, sweet Rancor mount. Reward number 2, which is 0.23% or 0.298 with the feeling lucky buff. And the reward from that is a Vectron Opus mount. I'm not sure what that looks like. They didn't have pictures of it. Yeah, it is a mouthful. Let's see.
Wait a second.
You can have a regular win, which gives you a golden certificate. There's a free play. There's 2 lose choices, but one of them can be removed can be taken off the table if you've got the feeling lucky buff, and then a slightly higher % chance for your machine to explode.
Oh, that's nice.
So lots of cool stuff. Some of the things that they said are coming as prizes. Obviously the mounts, the Kingpin Rancor. There's a Vectron Magnus and a Vectron Opus. Obviously the Kingpin outfit, which I think has been shown.
Did SWTOR Miner? Now sometimes he'll be able to extract some of the what things
He didn't
like
have
the mounts.
He didn't have the 2 mounts. All he had were the Rancor.
Oh, wait, he had
So
the
I don't
Rancor?
know yeah, he had the Rancor.
He had the picture of the Rancor. Oh man, I missed.
Yeah,
grabbing
actually he had a
the
picture of all the
it.
Rancors.
Oh, that's.
Can I send it to you?
I don't know. I'll find. Well, I'll post it in post short or something. Because I didn't realize he had pictures of that.
Wait, if I have admin privileges in your thing, can I post links?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, hang on. Let me look it up really quick.
So
because it looks really sweet.
When SWTOR Miner, he talked about it being similar to the Life Day event. Like, I'm not sure exactly what he said. This on UtiniCast. He was on UtiniCast yesterday. Now,
Okay, Larry, click on that link.
Oh, sweet. I will see if I can show this. Oh, that looks like here. I'm going to show it to everybody so they can see.
All right,
what I'm
so
looking at.
that's the PvP mount, which everybody saw.
Right.
Scroll down.
All right. That's PvP. Oop.
Keep scrolling.
Scroll down. Okay, still PvP.
PvP. Okay, now this is the one that drops off Nightmare Dread Palace that drops off of Gobthrock.
Oh, right. So this. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah,
nice.
this is the Cyber Rancor.
Yeah. And
this
one
is the one that's going to be in the Cartel Market.
All right.
Keep going. And this dude is the Kingpin Rancor.
Nice. Here, let me zoom in.
And look, he's kind of green, and he's got some orange glowing bits. And everybody you think here that watches this right now knows that I love glowing bits.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. They got a picture of the back of him too, right? Yep.
Yep. Look at that. You've got your bedroll there.
That's
better pray he doesn't
sweet.
eat you. Yeah, it does. It looks really, really nice. There's also going to be the Kingpin outfit, which I think has already been shown. It looks sort of like you've got the fedora and cape and sort of the typical smuggler, like the bounty hunter outfit.
Right.
There's Kingpin weapons, companion customizations. There's going to be one for Doc, Alora Darn, Mako, Theron Cedrex, and then the HK Hut military skin.
Okay.
And then 2 miscellaneous items. One is a hollow slot machine, so it's a regen item that'll make you look like you're playing a slot machine.
Sweet.
And the Golden Server Probe mini pet. So you can have your pet serve you.
We've seen pictures of that before. That actually is really cool. I like the serving droid mini pets. Those are sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be really nice. And now I don't know if this is actually gonna make it in, and SWTOR Miner didn't know either, but he said that there appears to be a conversation-driven craps mini game that you will be able to play. You can just talk to the dealer, and you'll have a chance to pick one of 3 colors, red, blue, or white, that you think is going to come up on the cubes. The dealer will roll the cubes one at a time. Each one that comes out, you've got a 2 of 9 chance of guessing correctly. He said there seems to be 4 random losing cinematics. So he expects that people are probably going to be playing this a lot.
It's
I don't know. It's tough. It may or may not show up in there, but
he said, oh my gosh, the amount of stuff that SWTOR Miner. If you don't follow him on Reddit, I mean he just pulls out the things that he's able to extract from the game is just amazing. I'm actually kind of surprised that the amount of stuff that is in the actual client before it's actually live in the game, but he's able to grab a whole bunch of those things. He's SWTOR SWTOR_miner on Twitter, and also that's his name in Reddit as well. So you can find his stuff there under the subreddit for SWTOR.
I love it that he always has lots of pictures.
Yeah,
like if there's a picture, or if he can find an image, he's got it up there, and that's
Absolutely.
awesome. We love him for that.
We do.
There was something else that showed up in the Cartel Bazaar. There's 3 Jawa engineers, and they take Jawa junk, sorted droid parts, and scavenged scrap, and apparently they can be traded for specialty goods. It looks like it's an exchange of 1 to 3 per stack for almost every single crafting material in game, or you can get a Cartel Market certificate. So that's great if you don't want to buy hyper crates and try to get the lottery and getting certificates off that, but you want to be able to pick some of those up to get it off of the resale vendors that they have in the Cartel Bazaar. So that's kind of awesome, and apparently that is up on Test Center. Now, I have not gone on Test Center to see, but apparently those are there. And I guess there's also 3 other token items that they found. There's the Contraband Transistor, Dual Laser Engraver, and then Black Market Alloy, but they're not sure yet what those are currency for. So something else that could be showing up in there.
All right, well, one other thing I want to talk about that's coming this summer, we're going to go ahead and skip that last thing because they really didn't say anything in that video. But one thing I do want to, well, they didn't. They didn't say anything. I will hold on before we go into the last thing that they're bringing out this summer. Let me find where's that image. I just had it up. They showed. Now it's gone. Oh, there it is. There's right there. Okay, I'm going to show this because this we were talking about earlier before the show.
Dude, that is your
Oh,
Nar
that-
Shaddaa house that you're getting. Look at
It's
how
amazing.
freaking huge that is. That
That-
is so big. That's so much space.
Oh, it is. It's
So much space. I am incredibly excited about housing. And I know that I've said in the past, like, I'm not super big on decorating. I'm not super big on caring about whether or not I've got a house. In fact, I end up kind of being a hoarder in game for this. But look at that. Look at that. That looks so fantastic. And there's so much space for them to be able to expand to add more. I can completely see myself dumping, like, I'm going to need to get an in-game sugar daddy because I'm going to be spending crazy amounts of money.
So much money. And I mean, you know what the thing is? This is crazy for me. If just for decorating and getting cool stuff like this house and whatnot, I would go and redo content. I mean, talk about a way to get people.
You won't need to redo content
Well,
because that's one of the things that they said is it's going to be based off of your codex entries. And shared through your legacy.
Well, now
just because
some
you've
of
got
those
one
things,
character that did it.
Some of those things, yeah, absolutely, like the ones that are specific to that. But if there are things that are going to require that I do, for instance, flashpoints. Like only this type of item drops from a flashpoint, and I'm not talking about like rewards.
Oh,
for
you're talking to like decorations that you can put on the floor.
Yeah, those kinds of things. I would totally redo content just for the chance.
Dude, I can already tell you, I'm going to be doing it because I need to have a bunch of those SWTOR pylons for lamps everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, those are all. They've suckered us into it. This is how MMOs do it.
This is how you run old content. This is how they're going to get us back in there.
That's exactly
plus,
right.
you know, I'm completely waiting for the cartel pack that's going to be all decorations like rugs and fancy dishes and.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even want to think about that because that's real money. Now, one thing. Speaking of old content, the raid system, the new group finder that's coming.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. The way I understand it's going to work is everything is going to be on the raids are going to be on a rotating schedule.
Yes. Every couple of days they will cycle out.
Yeah, and so it'll be like
it's not a choice. It's only one raid is going to be up there. So every couple of days, and they'll have a timer next to the select button, or not the select, but the what is it? The queue up button that's on the side.
Yeah, right. And then,
there's going to have a timer telling you how long you've got left on that particular raid.
And it's also going to be it's going to be level 50, 255 for any of them. I'm guessing, right?
Yes, I think for all of them, they are going to be
bolster up, right?
Yeah, they're going to put bolster in there. Now, this is such a fantastic idea because we all know how well this worked in PvP. But so essentially, what they're doing is they want to make it so that everybody that wants to experience the story can get in and run a story mode raid for this. So bolster is supposed to take away any type of gearing requirement. So you can come in as a level 50 in whatever leveling gear you're going to wear, and it's already going to boost you up to end game, whatever level it is for those end game stats that you should have to be able to complete the dungeon. Also, they are changing it from an 8-man, which is what the queue is right now, to 16. Because typically in story mode, 16-mans tend to be more forgiving. You only need 2 tanks for 16-man as well. And they said that that's kind of one of the holdups is with 8 people. You have literally double the amount of DPS sitting in the queue waiting for queues to pop so that they can get in, and you're held up by not having enough tanks, not having enough healers. So this way it's going to help to make it a little bit more feasible for queues to pop faster for people. It's going to be more forgiving because it's a 16-man. So it's, if you've got people that are kind of sucky, you've got other people essentially basically that can carry you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what they said.
Exactly right. Yeah.
It's not quite so many words, but they did say, but they can carry you.
Well, one of the things, speaking of bolstering though, is it going to since it's all going, I'm assuming it's going to bolster everything up to 55. Does that mean that the bosses then are also going to be like level 55? Or are they going to change the content?
I don't think it's going to bolster everybody up. I think it's going to be based on the level of the raid. So, like, for instance, if Karaga's Palace pops, that's a level 50 raid.
Yeah.
I think if you are 55, it's not going to bump you down, but it'll keep you at level 50. I don't think it's going to... I didn't go on Test Center and try it, but I don't think that it is going to bump you to level 55. I do, however, think that you will go in and it will give you stats appropriate to what you should be wearing in a level 50 instance to be able to complete it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've got to go run a whole bunch of black hole and run a whole bunch of daily quests to get your classic comms to do that. Because don't forget, when they added McKeb and we had a new level of raids, all of the old gear got replaced with the what the hell is it? EC explosive conflict level gear.
Yeah.
So it's the Dreadguard. What was it? Dreadguard and Hazmat.
Yeah, that's going.
So it's going to be about those level stats, which were already quite a bit better than the Rakata gear that dropped from Karaga's Palace. So that's something to keep in mind too.
Yep. Yeah. There's a good question about the in chat room. The free to play and preferred, are they going to get more than 3 loot rolls? Because currently. Well, can they even do? Will they even be able to do this? Because you can't do raids.
They didn't say. Although I would suspect that if you're free to play or preferred, you would need to buy the operations pass in order to be able to get in.
That's kind of my thought as well. So, to answer that question, no, no, you're not gonna get. You're gonna get less than 3 loot rolls.
Oh, one of the things also is for using the group finder, they really increased some of the comms that you can get. So for operations, if you run a group finder, you're going to get 30 ultimate comms.
Well, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's quite a big chunk of comms.
Yeah, it is.
And that's just for running it. Like if you get something like Eternity Vault that will take you 20 minutes to run through, 30 ultimate comms, bam, that's amazing.
Yep.
55 hard mode flashpoints are going to give 10 ultimate comms for running that daily. So that's 40 comms right there. Like, basically, within a week, you can have a piece or 2 of gear. Level 50 hard mode flashpoints are going to give 10 basic comms. And tactical flashpoints, running those every day, are going to give you 10 elite comms.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm actually looking forward to that, because I think one of the things that's really been missing is I'd like to be able to... I love our guild and everything, but not everybody's on at the same time that I am, and sometimes I just want to run a raid, because raids are fun. I mean, and I'm glad that they're making raids more accessible to everybody, and
we're also lucky that I think our server has a pretty good pug community as well. So if you're looking to pick up, they've got a pre-made chat channel that you can hop in, and there's always people looking for either story modes or hard modes or running old stuff. And it's a great community feel. And I think this is just something that's also going to help to bolster. And because of the amount of rewards that you're getting, I think you're going to see a lot more people queuing up, and the fact that it's going to be more accessible to people, and it's going to be a little bit easier for those who maybe don't necessarily step their toes into it and haven't been there, or don't want to raid a whole lot, but want to have the gear. And you have to think as well, since they said that we are going to get another McKeb size expansion at the, sometime this year as well, whether that's the time frame on that is going to be with Strongholds getting pushed back. Yeah. The message here is we're reaching the end of this expansion, and we want people to be able to gear up so that they have gear going into, a level increase is really what it says to me.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to close with this. I'll try to end the show with some sort of question. But this one, since we're now doing a multi-game show. We're not just the one we do on Gamebreaker is just for the Republic. So all we talk about is just the Republic. So now I'm gonna ask what MMOs are you playing this week, and where, if they want to join you, or if you want people to join you, I don't care. But where can they? Which games are you playing this week?
Well, tomorrow is raid night, so I'll be in Tor. Otherwise, my time is split between Wildstar beta. I need to log in tonight to make sure that I get my boombox, and WoW.
Cool. And I'm going to, gosh, I don't know what I've got to play a little bit of ESO. I know it's not sci-fi. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got to play a little bit of that, and I'm going to I've got to see some of the changes that they're doing in that. It's a little bit harder to log in every single time when I think about some of the stuff that ZeniMax is doing. But and then I'm going to be in Wildstar too. I've got to play Wildstar. It's I want to get. Well, I'm going to try it out.
Dude, you got to get it so you can get your boombox.
Yeah. Well, Can
I tell you?
Go ahead.
Here's my only complaint about Wildstar so far. I guess I've gotten spoiled, and let me preface this by saying that I've been told that my instant gratification mentality is currently destroying MMOs. Yes. So, having said that, I have gotten a little spoiled by games on having questing that's very streamlined. And so far, my really only complaint about Wildstar is if I'm looking at a map and it's, whatever, a peninsula, I don't like having the city in the middle and I have to go over here to do my first level of questing. And then I have to run back. And then I have to go back over here.
Yep.
And then I have to run back.
Yep.
And then I maybe have to run over here. And then I have to run back. And then I have to run all the way down to this corner. And then run back. That is really annoying. And I can tell from doing that I am probably only going to level one character unless there is some way to streamline it or power level through crafting or flashpoints or something that is not going out on questing. Because I can tell you right now, I don't find it super fun. And getting lost in bushes because I am about this big is also not always super fun.
All right, well, that is the end of the show. That you can find Laura here at Void Minx on Twitter, and of course, you can catch both of us on we are in Nefarious Intent Guild on. We are in Ebon Hawk on SWTOR, and we are also going to be on Nexus, right? I got that right?
No, we are not going to be on Nexus because Nexus is apparently staying the test server.
Okay,
so
we don't know what server we're going to be on.
Going, but you can come and apply to the guild and follow us.
Yeah, at nefariousIntent.engine.com. Engine is ENJIN. And, of course, follow us, follow Hyperspace Beacon at HSBeacon on Twitter. You can follow me at Shadow, SHADDOE, right down there. There I am, right there, SHADDOE. You can also follow Hyperspace Beacon on YouTube, youtube.com/hyperspacebeacon. And we are also, if you like what we see here, or what you see here, rather, if you like what you see here, support us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/hyperspacebeacon. You can, for as little as $1, you can support what we're doing. You can also go to that page and learn how you could be, I don't know, Grand Moff Jason or something along that line. That page tells you how that can happen. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this here because we do have a supporter in Patreon that has been just amazing to us. His name is Kyle. He goes by TechnoScald. Follow him on Twitter at TechnoScald. TechnoSkald. SKALD.
Or you can call him Techno Salad. He loves that.
Techno Salad. He loves that. All right. So thank you very much, Kyle, for helping us out with this. And next week, we are doing a developer dissection, which is basically I'm going to have a developer of MMOs, a real developer, on this show. Next week, same time, same channel. Check us out. We have some questions ready. I'm going to send out a tweet later this week to get some of your questions about creating MMOs. And as he did work on a sci-fi MMO, so he does have cred.
He's
as far as
kind
that's
of
concerned.
legit.
He's kind of legit. So, all right, thank you very much. This is Larry Everett again, and you were watching Hyperspace Beacon, the sci-fi MMO show. See you later, alligator.